Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel and this is the Faded Wildflower Crochet. Today I'm starting what is hopefully going to become a series where I test out different yarns and specifically what they look like when you crochet amigurumi. I know that other crafters, crocheters test out yarns. I'm specifically thinking of TL Yarn Crafts, which she's a legend in the in the crochet world. She tests out different kinds of yarn, but she's primarily a like garment and blanket and that kind of crocheter. And I still find her videos very helpful, but I'm always wondering when she tests out different kinds of yarn, I'm like, well, what would that look like as an amigurumi? And I also know that other creators like Elise Rose Crochet and Wonder Crochet, they test out yarn as well. So I know this is not a novel concept, but I'm hoping that in testing out these different kinds of yarn, people will find it helpful, entertaining. I know that some of you may be watching that are crocheters and are genuinely curious like me, like, what would that look like as an amigurumi? And if you don't know what amigurumi is, I'm assuming you do if you clicked on this video, but if you don't know, that's just the name for a crocheted plushie. Okay, so for today's I'm not sure what to call this series yet. Will it amigurumi? What will it look like as I'm not sure. You probably already know before I do because you clicked on this video. So today's first installment of this series is going to be testing out Juicy Couture Yarn, and this cane has like seen better days, even though I haven't even opened it yet, but it's like it's kind of falling apart a little bit, but hopefully that's all right. This is the Juicy Couture yarn, which I believe is sold exclusively at Joann, if I'm not mistaken. Um, and it comes in just a few different colors, not a ton. And it also comes in this sparkly variety. Some of the colors come in the sparkly variety. So we're going to test out Juicy Couture, and it's called Lux Velour Sparkle. This specific one is, and it is 3.5 ounces, and I believe this is normally $9.99, $10. I think that's what it normally runs for, and I paid I think $7.99 on a sale, something like that, $6.99, 7. Joann's always running sale, which you know. If you're a yarn person like me, you know Joann is always running sales on their yarn. So we're going to test this out. And I mean, I just think it's kind of funny. I know it's a novelty yarn. Juicy Couture, if you don't know, which I'm sure everyone does, is famous for their tracksuits, their velour tracksuits. So it is kind of funny to for Juicy Couture to be like, oh, I'm going to make a yarn line. I don't know. It is kind of funny. And I'm assuming that most people that work with this yarn are making garments, I'm assuming, or maybe blankets. But we're going to make a plushie. So I think my plan, I'm not sure what about like pink sparkly yarn made me think I want to make a dragon. But I'm going to make a dragon out of it. And something about me that you should know is that I am mostly a free hand, like freestyle crocheter. And I'm actually this year, which as of filming this video, I do not have any patterns released at this moment, but I have two that are being tested right now. So maybe by the time I post this, those will already be out. I'm not sure. But I am doing better about writing down patterns. But for the most part, for the most of I've been crocheting for 14 years, so since 2010. And back then, if you've been crocheting for that long, you know how much things have changed, like especially since 2020. There's so many more patterns out there, options for crocheters out there. But back then, back in 2010 when I was learning, there really weren't that many amigurumi patterns out there. So I kind of had to learn on the fly. Like I really kind of taught myself a lot of how to do it. So so because of that, I pretty much do freestyle crocheting for the most part. So I'm actually going to freestyle make this dragon, although I am planning on writing down what I do as I do it. And then if anyone's interested, I can maybe turn it into a pattern. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, first I thought we would get an up close look at the yarn. I took the label off so you can see what the yarn looks like. And it is quite soft. It is pretty soft. Even despite the I've worked with sparkly, I've never worked with sparkly chenille yarn, but I have worked with sparkly, just like worsted weight yarn. And sometimes it looks pretty, but it feels kind of rough. This actually still feels very soft despite the sparkles. So that's really, I hope that I hope that bodes well for working with it. Okay, I did take the label off, but here's a closer look at it. So it says it's 98% polyester, 2% metallic. Like I said, it's called the Luxe Velour Sparkle. And then color I got, let's see. There it is. The color is Free Love, which is really funny. It's a funny name. Also, I forgot to say that this is a size 5 chunky yarn and that it recommends using, I think, what does it say? Size K / 10.5 millimeter, which if you know, that you're supposed to go down when you're using. Can you hear my dog snoring? She's right there. Little paws are kicking. This is Lily. She'll probably be a recurring character on my YouTube channel. Okay. Anyways, as I was saying, you know that if you make amigurumi that you were supposed to go down a few sizes, and I am actually using a size G 5 millimeter, I believe, crochet hook for this project. But my stitches, I will say that my tension has gotten looser over time, so I've had to go down hook sizes. So you'll have to readjust that depending on what your tension is like. Okay, so first impressions. I have not done very much yet, just a little circle. I'm hopefully inserting clips. I have no idea what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing crochet-wise. I have been crocheting for 14 years. But the filming part of it, it's all brand new, so bear with me. But hopefully I'm inserting some clips so you can see it up close. But my first impressions are actually that it is really easy to work with. It's really soft and pretty good stitch definition, I would say, for a chenille yarn. And the sparkles look very beautiful. Like, I feel like they look better in person than the camera can even pick up. But it's just it is just like a nice light sparkle. It's not in your face, but it's nice. But I will say, my one criticism so far is that the sparkles do shed a bit. Not a ton so far, but that does not bode well for if you know anything about putting together amigurumi with chenille yarn, you know that the sewing part is typically the most difficult. So that does not bode very well for that. I'm a little nervous about that part, but it's not a ton. It's not every single fiber of sparkle comes off or anything, but I did notice a little bit of the sparkles coming off as I was crocheting. So we'll see. But for now, first I'm going to go have some lunch. And then I'm going to go get cozy on my couch and make some more of this dragon and do some of the sewing because, again, that's like a very important part. Although I know that a tip that I've learned is that you can just attach some worsted weight yarn onto your project to do the sewing. So if it does become too difficult, I will do that. But I don't want to have to because I'm lazy. So I want to just be able to sew with the same yarn that I'm working with if possible. So hopefully I'll get to that step and then we will reconvene. Okay, I am back and I am pleasantly surprised, you guys. This yarn, I've only made the head so far, but it is a dream to work with. With the beginning where it was shedding a bit, the sparkles were shedding. I was nervous, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know if that was just a fluke of the beginning of the skein, but it has not done that again while I was crocheting at all. No shedding while crocheting. Now I sewed up the back of the head, which again, hopefully I'm inserting some footage of close-ups, but it was a dream. It was a dream to sew the back up with. It shed just a little, like just a little bit of the sparkles, like maybe one or two, but the chenille, like the yarn itself, did not shed. Which is shocking. If you've ever worked with chenille yarn or velvet yarn or whatever, you know that it usually sheds while you're sewing. So I am very pleasantly surprised at how well this worked. It feels so weird holding like I feel like I'm holding like, no, this is a severed head. Um, but I am really, really pleasantly surprised so far. I'm going to make some more pieces and sew like a little bit more detailed work and see how that goes. But as far as the crocheting goes, it is lovely to work with. So let's finish them up. And she's done. I think she turned out so adorable. Her name is obviously Juicy, and she's the color of a watermelon, so it's kind of perfect. I did use Loon Arm. I don't know how you pronounce it. It's a chenille yarn that I got on Amazon for the green spikes, and for the white, I used chenille, the just or the Premier Just Chenille is the name of it that you can get at the dollar store. That's what I used for the white. I didn't really film any of that since this was more of a review for the Juicy Couture yarn. But I am just thrilled with how it turned out. You can see from the structure that it's soft, but it still has a nice structure to it. It holds up nicely. It's not floppy. The yarn was incredible to sew up with. Once again, I sewed on all the little pieces, and I believe I got a clip where you can see that it only left maybe 4 or 5 little sparkle sheds, and I I am amazed. Once again, none of the pink chenille part of the yarn came apart while sewing, which is a feat. If you know anything about chenille yarns, that is a feat. So I would say that if you are already experienced with velvet and chenille yarns, you're going to love this. And I would even venture to say that if you have no experience whatsoever with chenille yarns, that you might also love this. It might be a great one to start out with, or maybe if you've had bad experiences in the past with velvet and chenille yarns, you might actually like this one. I am blown away. I was not expecting to like this. I was expecting it to be much more of a challenge than it was, but it glided nicely on the hook. It was nice to sew with. Like I said, it has good structure. It's really it's really soft and cuddly. Wish you could feel it. I wish you could feel it through the screen. It is so soft and cuddly. My daughters, when they get home from school, are going to flip out. They're going to love her. Like I said, if you are interested in this, you think that's really cute, I'd like to make that, let me know and I will try to come up with a little pattern. There's probably a couple of things I would change, but overall, she's just so cute. And oh, let me go get my yarn to show you how much is left. This is all that is left from our ball of yarn. It is not the biggest, and for that price range, it's a little bit steep. So $10.99 for 3.5 ounces. It is on the more expensive side because I believe with the Bernat Velvet, you get 10 ounces or maybe even 10.5 ounces for that, about that same price. It's hard for me to keep up with exact prices though because Joann is always running sales. I believe when I looked on their website currently, this is only $6.99. And the only thing, one thing I am disappointed about is that it doesn't come in more colors. The pink is definitely the most fun. There's also a very bright red that I liked, but I wish it came in more fun colors. Like I said, most people are probably making garments and blankets and that kind of thing. So they probably aren't really thinking about us like Plushie Amigurumi makers and making fun colors for it. But I do wish it came in more fun colors. I will definitely be trying again. I think I may try out the red. And I also saw that when I was looking on the Joann website that the Juicy Couture line also has, so they have the regular line, the sparkle line, which is this, and then I believe they also have a plus, I don't remember what they call it, but a thicker velvet yarn. So I may be trying that soon too and seeing what that's like. Let me know if you want to see that. Thank you so much for being here today and for following along. Let me know what you thought about today's video. Let me know what you think about the Juicy Couture yarn. Have you tried it? Do you like it? And let me know if there's any kind of yarn you would like me to test out next. I have a lot of yarns that I want to try for this series. And you can also follow me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is The Faded Wildflower. You can check out my Etsy shop, which is also The Faded Wildflower. And thank you again for being here. I'll see you next time.